in front of
It's by that car.
It's on your way to what, Gandhi, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on Manhattan.
It's great. It's.
I don't know. I feel like in a Ben and Jerry's
I
near here.
think so.
I think
All right, here we go. Cold Stone's my personal fave. Just fun.
More than Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, we're doing things today. Here we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is. Please tell me what is the name of the gentleman behind psychoanalysis? Hey, Hannah. Sorry. Who is it, Alexandra? Freud. In psychoanalysis, Freud uses what two things in order to conduct his therapies? He does two things. What are those two things in order to conduct his therapies? I have one person. There's two things. Sophia.
Oh, dream interpretation and free association.
There you go. Dream interpretation and free association. On your whiteboard. I had a dream of a bear chasing me through the woods. Please tell me. And the bear represents my mother. Which one? What is the manifest content of my dream? Manifest content of my dream is what, Drew?
The bear chasing you.
What is the latent part of my dream? Good. Good. What is it, Mackenzie? My mom. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the therapy created by Rogers, Carl Rogers? Nope. It's part of it, but he has a very specific one. So far, no one. Of course. What is it, Miranda?
Person-centered therapy.
Person-centered therapy. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name. What is the official title for using drugs like antidepressants? What do we officially call that? Good. I got 1, 2, 3. Come on. 4. Milan, what is it? Biomedical therapy. On your whiteboard, I am terrible at meeting people and picking up chicks at a bar. So I hire a therapist to help me pick up chicks at a bar. What type of therapy is this? Actually, I'd be terrible at picking up chicks. Like, I just can't start a conversation out of nowhere. That's hard. That's hard. And ladies, you better appreciate when a guy tries to talk to you out of nowhere. It's hard. What is it, Kat? Action therapy. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when it's a therapy style in which the therapist does not interrupt or take direct actions. They literally allow you to do whatever the hell you want. If you want to talk about ice cream and how passionate you are about ice cream, they let you talk about ice cream. What is it? Desiree?
Non-directive.
Non-directive.
Wait, what's the difference between action therapy and behavior?
Action therapy is that they are teaching you a certain trick, a certain skill.
Okay.
Psychotherapy is a big, broad category for talking therapy.
Okay. And wait, like behavior. The difference between behavioral and action.
Behavioral is kind of like it's talking therapy and action therapy together.
Okay.
Action therapy is just how to do something.
Okay.
Behavioral is the cognitive as well as the action kind of intersecting.
Okay.
On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when someone just sits and talks and the therapist listens to them and is waiting for their unconscious thoughts to come through. What do we call that? Nope. I got 1. You're killing it today, Sophia. You're killing it.
What's the difference?
I got 2. Only 2. What is it, Sophia?
Free association.
Free association.
What's the difference between that and stream of consciousness?
Okay, stream of consciousness and free association are the same thing. Stream of consciousness is just when anyone does it. Free association is when you have a therapist listening. But it's the same damn thing. It just depends on the setting. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when Michael walks into his therapist and his therapist is like, oh my God, Michael, let's talk about your relationship with your dad today. And Michael's like, hell no, I don't want to talk about my dad. How about we talk about March Madness? Nope. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to talk. No, that's a strong word for not wanting to talk about his dad. Good, I got one. Oh my God, you people are going to have a long week. You're going to have a long, rough week. What is it, Dibs? Resistance. Okay, so me and my husband are fighting. So I go to my therapist and I'm raging and I hate my therapist as much as I hate my husband. What is it? Good, I got 2. Oh my gosh, people. 3. What is it, Simone?
Transference.
On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the type of therapy that Freud champions that has dream analysis, has free association, resistance, and transference a part of it? What is the brand of his, which takes 8 years to get a degree in order to do? Good. What is it? Michael. There you go. On your whiteboard, what are talking therapies called? What are they called? Lee.
Psychotherapy.
There you go. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is I don't care. All right, here we go. All right, who can raise their hand and please tell me where we left off? No one knows. It's a mystery. There's just complete confusion. The world has crumbled to shambles. No one knows. No one knows. There's no remnants of human life. This has been my day. This has been my day. All of you people are awful. I don't want to be here either. Non-directive. Thank you, Kat. There is human life out there. All right, here we go. Right here, Kat. Non-directive? Yes. All right, so we're at directive. All right, so non-directive means, okay, Desiree comes into my office and I say, hey, Desiree, how are you today? And she's like, actually not well. I'm like, oh my God, why? And she's like, peas. I hate peas, and my mom makes me eat them. So I spend 50 minutes with Desiree talking about peas. It's whatever Desiree wants to talk about. Okay, so next in your application box, it's completely client-decided conversation. The client decides what to talk about. I think we were talking about your chickens, right? That was she wanted to talk about chicken coop. So we talked about chicken coop for 50 minutes in our therapy session because that's what she wanted to talk about. That's non-directive. Okay? I can have a conversation, but I'm not doing anything to steer it away. I'm not saying, well, does the chicken coop reflect your relationship with your mother? No. If Desiree wants to talk about chicken coops, that's what we're going to talk about. All right. Directive is Desiree is going to come into my office, and I'm going to say, hello, Desiree. And she's like, oh, my God, hi. I'm like, how was your day? She's like, oh, my God, I am really upset about this girl named Sophia. She's dreadful. And I'd be like, oh, my God, she sounds awful. But let's talk about your mom. With directive, it is the therapist decides what will be talked about and when and the depth. It's completely therapist-based. Okay? So, when we talk about that, that is what we are using. So, non-directive is the client gets to decide. Most of your therapists are going to be client-based. Yes, Kat? I do need your head up, though.
So when do certain therapists decide that they're like non-directive
Yes.
and like advertise it as non-directive?
No, it's kind of one of those things when you call their office and you try to, now that you know the terms, you can call their office and say, what type of therapist are you? They're going to say, oh, actually, I'm a behaviorist. Some of them will post it, make it very clear. But most are going to be humanists, mostly. And most of them are going to be non-directive. Some of them are going to be directive. Some of them, most people use a match, though. They kind of use a little bit depending on that. But most people are going to be a mix between the two. But some people are very pure. If you're going to a psychoanalyst, they're only doing dream analysis, free association. They're going to be doing all those things. They're going to be showing you ink blots and seeing what you're seeing from them, stuff like that. All right, so Rogers Person-Centered Therapy is on the next page of your study guide, and it is non-directive, which means the person gets to talk about whatever they want based on Carl Rogers, okay? And it's when the client does all the talking and the therapist listens. The therapist listens. This is question number 4, by the way, of your focus. Now, for Carl Rogers therapy, they may ask questions like, well, why? How are you feeling? What are you doing? Those different types of things. However, it's not going to be super, super detailed questions. Well, Miranda, last time you were here, you were talking about your love of sponges. Why do you think? They're not going to ask those types of questions. I don't know. Are you passionate about sponges?
Not really.
Yeah, I didn't think most people would. I don't know why I'm thinking about peas and sponges
So
today.
weird.
But we're going to roll with it. Now, when you talk about Rogers Person-Centered, if you look on your study guide, you're going to see reflection. Make a symbol next to your person-centered therapy. Put a star next to person-centered therapy. Next to reflection, put that star. Next to unconditional positive regard, put a star. And next to empathy and authenticity. All of those star things are going to tie to Rogers Person-Centered Therapy. There will be a question on your test that says, which of the following is not part of Rogers Person-Centered Therapy, and you're going to have to know. So what are they? The 4 elements. The first one is reflection. In order to do well in person-centered therapy, you have to be able to think back on your actions and kind of have ability to say what you did right and say what you did wrong. And the therapist is not saying, oh, well, you shouldn't have said that, Sam. You're an idiot. They're saying, oh, well, how did that make that other person feel? Well, I don't care how that other person feels. I want to say it. Well, why did you feel like hurting their feelings? And they're having a conversation. You have to be able to sit back and kind of reflect on your own self and your own thoughts. Okay? Then you have unconditional positive regard, which I'm filling in like a boss here. In unconditional positive regard, it's referring to the warmth, respect, and accepting atmosphere created by a therapist for a client. Okay? What that means is, and this is what I put in your application box, no matter what the client says, the therapist is supportive. What that means is, if your parents go into their therapist's office and say, I hate my kids, your therapist will say, oh my God, me too. Why? Okay? One of the things that I really don't want to one of the major reasons why I don't want to have kids, I don't think I'd like being a mom. I don't want to put someone first my whole life. That sounds terrible. Why do I want to sit up late worrying about whether you're making good decisions or not? No. I just don't care. I'd rather think about me. And my little Toby. So that's why. So if your parents go in, or you, when you have kids, and decide, I hate my husband, or I hate my wife, they're going to be like, oh my God, why? No judgment. It's a judgment-free zone. All of you have a friend that is super judgmental. Can we agree? And if you tell them while you're telling them a story, and you can see how their face is getting their judgy look, and you immediately stop telling them the rest of the story, correct? Okay? That is changing the way you interact with your friend, and you're going to have resentment, correct? That's why unconditional positive regard is such a big deal, because you need to be able to talk openly in order to actually solve some problems. Your next next one is going to be empathy. It's the ability of the therapist to understand the feelings of the client. What is the difference between sympathy and empathy? Yes. Did we talk about this already? Yeah? Then why am I doing it again? Did we cover this on
Wait,
Friday?
what's the difference?
Then why aren't you saying anything?
She said,
Well, no, 'cause we
I
didn't-
thought on directors, so I don't want to say.
So you're
Well,
just
that
gonna
was-
sit there?
Well, no, we didn't
She
fill
didn't
wings
learn.
in.
didn't-
Ah, okay. No? Okay.
We just talked about other things.
Okay, so sympathy. If you notice someone has a death in the family, you send them a sympathy card. Sympathy says, I feel sorry for your family for your loss. It's a recognition that they lost something. That is sympathy. It is, I'm here, you're there, I have sympathy for you. As in, you lost someone, I'm so sorry. I'm letting you know, I know. I'm sorry. Empathy is when you go to someone and say, I heard you lost your mom. I'm really sorry about that loss. I also lost my mom. How are you doing? That is empathy. You're on the same level. Empathy is relating, not saying, I'm sorry, from a position of power. Empathy is more powerful than sympathy. So you should have sympathy. Can we agree? But it's empathy that makes you a good human being. Okay, and then authenticity. Authenticity. How many times have you told someone like something not super, hopefully not super personal, but something kind of personal and they just missed it immediately? Hello? How much does that suck? When like you tell someone, you're like, all right, I'm gonna tell this person, here we go. And you tell them and they're like, oh my god, that's really bad. I'm like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? That's inauthentic. Authenticity is genuine, honest response to a therapist. When you're saying something that you can tell they actually mean it, and all of you know the difference between someone saying something and actually meaning something, correct? We figured this out, and it's really hard when you're trying to open up and really be honest, and they just shut you right down, correct? Okay, that's authenticity. All right. Gestalt is a form of directive insight therapy in which the therapist helps client. Now, this is a whole new type of therapy. This is totally different from person-centered. There's a bunch of them. Maybe tomorrow that's what I will do. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I figured it out. I got you, girl. I'll make your life easier tomorrow. Does that make you happy? You don't care? Great. I'm so glad. Fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I have no authenticity for you right now. I'm done. Oh, Mackenzie. All right. So, when did I teach you Gestalt?
While ago. Cognitive psychology.
No.
It was around then.
Learn me.
What section did I teach you Gestalt?
I don't remember all the sections.
Because that's on your scope and sequence.
Is it perception?
No. Sensation and perception, yes. Okay? Gestalt is the sum of the parts are greater than the whole. Yes?
The whole is greater.
The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. There you go. See, it's been a long day. I don't want to be here either, people. I was enjoying my spring break as well, okay? So I know you're all there from October. Huh?
Sensation and perception was so long ago.
It
I
was.
know,
We have 6
week-
weeks until
week
you need to
six.
know everything,
It all
people.
was week 6.
There you go. It's a long time. You need to know all of this in 6 weeks. All of it. Okay. So, what Gestalt therapy is all about, it's not looking at your individual behavior. So say Michael goes to his therapist. I'm excited you're my person today. Are you excited? Yep. So Michael goes to his therapist, and his therapist, Michael wants to go and talk about his relationship with his mom. Okay? If he goes to a Gestalt psychologist, they're not just going to look at the relationship Michael has with his mom and try to figure out where that started from. Okay? They're going to look at Michael's life as a whole right now, and they're going to say, well, he plays on Plant's baseball team, he's suffering through AP Psych with his crazy teacher, he has a couple of really good core friends, I'm hoping, yes? Okay? And he has a bunch of other stuff. So instead of looking at just one piece, his relationship with his mother or whatever, they're looking at him as a whole and trying to figure out how the pieces fall. Does that make sense? So although he's going to work through one issue, like for instance, if I went for divorce therapy, okay, they're not just going to look at what was the final straw that led to the breakup of my marriage. Does that make sense? They're going to be looking at all the different components that went into it, the time management, the priorities, and all that stuff. That's just all. In your application, you need to write role playing and leading questions. That's how they do most of that, is role playing and leading questions. Okay, so if Michael is having a hard time with his mom because his mom won't go to his baseball games, they would have a conversation. Okay, Michael, pretend I'm your mom. Ask your mom to go to a baseball game.
You get one on baseball.
Hell no, kid. And then the therapist would say, keep trying, Michael.
Can you get one on baseball?
No, why? They're so boring. And then you would say, well, Mom, it would mean a lot to me. I really appreciate it. It would mean a lot. It's nice having you in the stands. It's nice. All those. That would be a Gestalt kind of principle. Does that make sense? Hello? Okay, role playing. You did great, kid. You did great. All right. So humanistic. If you go to the front page, bottom of it, you'll see humanistic. Now, humanistic are therapies that are not based on experimental research. It's about connections. It's about relationships. Okay? And it only works best on intelligent and highly verbal people. I think we can all agree that we have a friend who is not very verbal.
You sure?
I think it's a girl. Goodbye.
Why did you bring
I'm fine with this. Goodbye.
We're done?
Yeah.